Hi guys. Just got out of Hobby Lobby. I'll have to tell you all about it when I get home. Hey y'all. Welcome back. I just wanted to share library books that I picked up that I found very interesting and inspiring. Started off with Anna Maria's, now it's Perry, used to be Horner, Blueprint Quilting. And let me tell you, this is absolutely a feast for the eyes. There's a couple of quilts in here that when I was looking at these, I just thought, I didn't think of myself as ever someone who would be interested in doing a legacy quilt, but then when I saw a couple of these, I think I changed my mind. There's Dresden plate petals that go into them, and I don't think I've ever made a Dresden plate in my life, but this one called Grand Central just really knocked my socks off, and here's a really hedgerow quilt was a really beautiful one that I just couldn't take my eyes off it for a while. It's amazing. It looks like the way it's constructed is mostly a bunch of log cabin type blocks and then some of the Dresden plates and strip piecing. And so it's a large quilt. At some point in the future, hopefully I can get back to making large ones. But when you look at the breakdown of it, it's actually really not that complicated. It just looks great, partly I think because of her fabrics. And then here's this one. And this one even has the little EPPs, appliques, patchwork. This one, it just made me drool. It's just breathtaking in the color composition and the design. And then again, here's another situation where that looked amazing. It looked like it could have even been a bit overwhelming. But when you look at this picture, you can see that it's actually doable when you do it in steps. So that's one that I am just gaga over. This one, the O Scrapbook by Lisa Alexander, is another one that just amazed me. This one's called Firecrackers. And I love red, white, and blue as a color combination. I just think it's so stunning because I've always loved anything to do with nautical colors and prints anyway, and that just really does it for me. So that's what it looks like. The construction is actually pretty easy, and she even says, try using the triangle papers. And then there's one right after it that's called an Indian blanket, which is more triangles, which is just beautiful. And then the colors on her color choices on her quilts really just sing. Like this one is gorgeous, so soft and pink and pretty. And she gives you all very good instructions on how to make it. So I'm really enjoying that. And then this one kind of surprised me because as much as I like to look at modern quilts, I feel like in some ways I used to think that they just weren't going to be interesting enough for me. So this one is by Raina Gallivan. Now this one's, I think, a little bit of an older book too, but the reality is that even with the older books, you're still going to get some pretty beautiful and timeless patterns or learn some excellent lessons. So this talks a lot about design. And I'll tell you, there was one point when I'm looking through this book and I'm saying, I don't know. Not really sure that I'll ever really make any of these. And as I was looking through, I said, yeah, that is interesting and very pretty. I love that green color. They're all solids though, and I'm usually not like a huge solid color fan. But as I got more and more into it, I found one quilt that she made that just knocked my socks off again, and that's this one. And when you think about it, what she explains that, you know, she used a lot of strips and then cut them into the pieces that you would, you know, use for a Dresden plate, and then just sewed them together, and that is just out of this world. Considering, in my mind, I'm thinking more like this, where these are the possibilities. So another great book that just lets you be free. Hey y'all, welcome back. So yes, I went to Hobby Lobby. I have the receipt to prove it. And I got quite a few adorable fabrics on sale. This one is just lots of cute little baby elephants. It was $2 a yard, so I got three. Why did I not buy the whole bolt, you say? I just don't have room for all that. Then I got a couple of this blue and white one, this one with donuts on it. Since I don't eat too many sugary things anymore, at least I can enjoy looking at it on the lining of something or as a book cover. And then this cutie pie I got, because if you have grandchildren, you can never have too many of these cute little juvenile prints with the woodland creatures. So I'm sure that will become a drawstring bag or a pouch for one of the kids. They only had one spool of thread in the color that I was looking for, so I got it. You can't beat their price of their thread there at Hobby Lobby. So I got it. What will I do with all this stuff, you're wondering? So I am still working on the 6.5-inch finished foundation paper piece blocks. And I have lots of options. You know, you can always make another baby quilt. The possibilities are endless. I saw somebody make some flowers, fabric flowers for to adorn hats and bags and stuff. That'd be really cute too. And but I think I'm going to use them in conjunction with the ones that I like from these paper piece 6.5-inch squares to make another sewing machine cover. So as I'm working on that, I will go ahead and post some video footage of that. Um, and I think, well, I know tomorrow I'm going back to the library because I actually still haven't gotten around to donating some of those scraps that I just knew for a fact I was never going to use. And yet, on the way home today, I remember they were still in the trunk of my car waiting to get dropped off. And I thought, oh, let me take a look in there and see if there's maybe a few bits and odds and ends of things that I could still use for this foundation paper piecing project. And there was only one or two. So that is getting dropped off for sure tomorrow. I don't know if you've been a quilter for a long time, you may very well have come across that situation where you're looking back in the archives to see if there was something that you missed. So that's what's going to happen with that. Then I will go to the library, and I'm going to be looking for another library book that has quilt patterns in it, because that is just so stinking economical to get a free library book, come home, find a pattern you like. Even an older book is going to be fine, because there just are some patterns that are just timeless. And then once you get the pattern, you get the specs written down, you have that forever. You can turn it into a seasonal quilt, or you can modify it to make it more your own. And so you really, absolutely, there is no downside to finding a quilt book in the library and taking it out for a week and harvesting out the quilt patterns you like from it, as well as using Libby. If you don't have a way to get physically to the library, using Libby, it's the same thing. You can just put, in the search engine to look for quilting books, and look at them online, take your notes, and do the same thing. And then you don't even have to worry about dropping them off. So that's also a win-win. So that is what the plan is for tomorrow. And if I find a good book that has some great patterns in it, I will definitely share it with you. I would like to just do one video a week. So going forward, that's the plan. My little channel here in the little corner of my room, where you can see my bed. And no, I don't have, the white cabinetry and the giant cutting table and all that. And I never will in this apartment. So I have to use what I have. And so that's what this is going to be about. So this will just remain a hobby channel. I will not be having sponsors. You will not see, if you click on the description below, you will find, this, that. No, I'm not doing any of that. This is just a hobby. Therefore, I can enjoy it. And I have a friend who's a photographer, and he said, Pam, the only advice I have to people is don't make your beloved hobby into your career, because you will no longer like it. So, and I've heard other people say, yeah, he's right. Um, so this is just going to be for fun. And so I want to thank you guys so much, the viewers who come in and take a peek and enjoy. Thank you so much for spending time on this channel. I appreciate it. So that's it for today.